Peter and Ice Cream Bar. The dreaded topic. The word of which we shall not speak. One of those things that people are either all for or all against, like M. Night Shyamalan plot twist, chain restaurants, reboots. I myself have avoided this topic for a very long time, but I think I finally found a way to share my 2 cents, hopefully without deeply offending anybody. One can only hope. So before I begin, I think it's important to just start by saying I do not believe you can really judge a person based solely on where they are buying ball joint dolls, unless someone is buying them from like a person who murdered someone to get them, or is buying them because they're using them to smuggle cocaine, you know, something a little bit more dramatic. That being said, I am sympathetic to both sides of this argument, and I will endeavor to tell you why. I should also quickly mention that there are definitely more arguments to and for than the ones that I will mention here, but this is going to just be kind of like my personal ideas and opinions, so on and so forth. So anyway, let's start with the pro-artist argument. So the way I see it, being an artist and a sculptor myself, it is actually heartbreaking to see, you know, something that someone has put time and effort, physical labor, emotional toil into, and see that just copied and then sold at a lower price. I would be devastated if I made a ball joint doll after spending hours and hours of work on it, perfecting it, doing the entire process. If I did that and sold it at a price that seemed fair for the amount of labor and work that I put into it, to see someone take that and then sell it for 30% cheaper, I would be so upset. Heartbreaking, devastating. I'd feel so betrayed. I'd feel awful. There is not a lot of work for people who are sculptors in traditional mediums, in case you weren't aware. For that reason alone, I personally would not ever knowingly buy a recast. I also understand how it can be harmful to the second-hand market. Like, even though not everyone cares about the prestige of owning a very rare or very expensive doll, I think we can all agree it is annoying to look through websites that have second-hand markets that are bogged down with recasts, and it's like the same, like I was scrolling through eBay and it's like the same 4 Zoom dolls over and over and over again, and I'm like, stop! Like, when I sell a doll, I want people to actually be able to find my listing, maybe, so they like might purchase it, rather than going through this giant list of recasts. And also I want people to see the value in secondhand dolls and get in with that like collaborative vibe, rather than being like, oh, well, I could buy this secondhand doll, or I could buy this even cheaper recast doll and it's brand new, so herpa derpa. Anyone who has ever sold a doll would find that frustrating. You hip to it? However, I am still empathetic to the pro-recast people. Even though I do not support recast, I do have an easier time understanding why someone would buy like a secondhand recast, because this is the way I think about it. I don't support puppy mills. They're vile, awful places. However, once the dog is born, it shouldn't be punished by not getting a home. Obviously, a living thing is quite different from a physical object, but hopefully that kind of helps you understand what I mean. It's my feeling in general that we wouldn't be having so much of this debate. Like, the whole recast idea would be a much rarer thing, a much less common occurrence, and a less heated argument if there weren't some truly negative undercurrents in this hobby. You can probably tell what I'm about to say based on the title, but let me explain what I mean anyway. So there are different people in this hobby for vastly different reasons. Some people just like the art aspect. Some people want to learn how to be photographers, or they're learning to sew. Some people are just collectors, pure and simple, whose goal is to, you know, amass the most impressive collection they can. None of those things are the wrong way. Everyone should be able to enjoy the hobby in whatever way they wish, and it's all fine. What is wrong is this kind of spreading of the idea that some dolls or artists or companies are ugly or cheap or just bad and therefore do not warrant anyone to look at them. Trends come and go, and there's obviously going to be styles that you like, styles that you don't like, things that you're more attracted to viewing than others, but appreciation and support go a long way. And I think we all are guilty at some point in our lives of ignoring posts that aren't so glossy. You know the type. The beginner, things that you look at and think that's amateurish, bad lighting in photos, fuzzy videos. But by ignoring people like this, we're not only doing a disservice to them, but to ourselves as well. I mean, what do people do when they feel rejected, when they feel alone? They're going to go and seek approval and appreciation. It is true in this hobby that there are some sculpts that you can put in the title of something and people will click it just to see that sculpt. You might argue, okay, well, why don't these people who want to do that just wait until they can afford the actual doll? And on principle, I agree with you. One, a lot of recast dolls are dolls that were limited quantities, no longer being produced, coming in skin tones that aren't available from the company, stuff like that. Though a lot of them are not. But two, from personal experience, I can definitely say you should never underestimate the power of instant gratification. It's like how every time I'm at the grocery store, I'm like, well, I could buy actual food, or I could buy this frozen food, and it's really cheap, and when I go home, I don't even have to cook it. I just pop it in the oven, and there it's done. Everyone has been tempted to take the easy way out, and a lot of times you do take it. So all that being said, I think it's actually less important to talk about who is buying what and from where, and instead really evaluate the way we ourselves think about our ball joint dolls and our peers, and how much we're actually giving support to other people. It's just all too easy to be, you know, looking at Tumblr or Instagram or Den of Angels and see, okay, this post has 300 likes, this one has 1,000 likes, this one has 5. Obviously it's not worth looking at, and you skip right by it. But that attitude is so shit. I don't mean to call anyone out or be mean or rude. I'm referring to an attitude that I myself often have, and you really have to like stop and catch yourself, and it's difficult because it's so subconscious. But I think if more people were invested in, you know, liking something to actually form a relationship rather than to get a like back, or commenting on stuff because they really wanted to get to know you as a person. I mean, we all know what it's like to feel nervous, to be new, to feel like you're alone. It's so easy. I always felt such rejection when I used to go to ball joint doll meetups. I mean, I was quite a bit younger. This is probably 10 years ago now. Oh my gosh. Where does the time go? But you know, I'd be there with my one doll, my first timer's face up, and no one would talk to me, and it felt so awful to be ignored by these people that I really wanted to get to know, because this is not a super common hobby. But it's not just about treating people better in person. I also felt a lot of rejection when I would make posts on forums or on Tumblr or wherever, and people would just completely ignore it. It would be great to see more people supporting each other in that way. More people putting their name to, yes, you are maybe not the best artist in the world at this point, but I'm going to comment, I'm going to make you feel welcome. That might be really awesome, because even if you aren't the best artist in the world, and that's not even your goal, you might still be a really cool, great, awesome person that I'd like to get to know. So like I said, that's my 2 cents, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm not asking you to change your mind. I'm just asking you to be empathetic. So please leave your comments below. Just, you know, keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to all of you soon. Bye!